What is going on, boys? Marty, what is good? We are in a draft. We got 2 more people. 2 more spots left for this one. And we're going to have Nate from Apples and Genos join the stream. I think around like 8:30 or 9. We're going to chat for a bit, do some drafts. So yeah, very exciting stuff. Let me just let me tweet out. J-Mag, what's good, brother? Jacob, what is up? T, what's good? Blake, man. Blake, I thought you were mad at me. You didn't respond to my Discord DM. Just been stewing about it for like 2 weeks. Like, what did I do to Blake? But we should, we do need to link up soon. You know, I would like to do the pod. I'm just so busy. And you should come on stream too, Blake, if you're doing any of these drafters drafts. I know you did some. And you got a team in the top 30, so you should be in these streets, brother. Let me just do a quick little audio check here. Everything sound good, boys? Audio side? Audio's good? Okay. Bandsaw, dude. Stop. You can't be saying shit like that, dude. Blake, you're a unit as well, brother. Loving the content. All right, we're up. We got the first pick. I'm kind of going to McDavid here. You know, people are sleeping on McDavid. He says he wants to shoot the puck more. Remember when he freaking had 60 goals and 300 shots? What if we get that again? Caleb, I have like too many hats to count, brother. I have like probably 20 hats right over there. I was actually trying to figure out, I was like, what hat do I wear? I have so many. It's always a tough decision for me. Dawson Cooch number 1? No. Definitely not. Definitely not Cooch number 1. You got to go. It's either McDavid or Mac, man. That's it. Hold on, boys. Let me just pause this here. Okay, yeah, audio's good. Yeah, J-Mac, you got to go Dabo or Mac. Like, this league doesn't heavily value shots, so I'm less inclined. But in like a Yahoo default league, man, where shots are valued heavily, like a Yahoo points league, then Mac has a slight edge, I would say. Turn up your volume, hard to hear you. Okay, let me do that, brother. Is that better? Should be a little bit better. You could also turn me up as well. I'll turn down the music a bit. Greeny, does that sound better? Let me know. It's hard to do the audio check while I'm streaming. Makar over dry seems spicy, but I can understand the upside is worth it. Okay, we are up. Would love to get Bouchard at some point with McDavid. I think what we're going to do is go... Man, this is always an annoying spot to be in. We'll go Mitch Marner, and then we'll go... We'll switch it up and go Vasi. Not a lot of people pairing McDavid with Vasi. Yeah, the only, like, I don't mind going Makar over Dry in this format just because of how good Makar is in terms of positional scarcity. Makar is going to fill so many spike weeks in this format, you know? Okay, let's pull this up. Do we have any news today, NHL-wise? Let me think. We did know that Carter Hart said he wasn't going to resign with Philadelphia, which is interesting. I feel like my gut's telling me he's going to Vegas, but we don't know, man. There's been a couple of reports. They talked about Utah, but they have, I don't know, maybe Utah. Yeah, I would usually go defenseman there. I would put Dolly in there. Just because it's a weird spot. Like, when you get to that position, you kind of have a couple of options. You have, like, Connor and Panarin and Nylander and Reinhardt. They're all very similar. Like, even you get to, like, Gensel and Boldy here and Tage. Like, they all are similar in terms of spike week. So you kind of feel gravitated towards a defenseman there. That's what I typically do. I typically like to go pretty early on the defenseman. But I'm going to change it up because, you know, we know last year, if you hit on late defenseman, if you hit on a Zach Werenski, like, you're going to have a pretty big edge, right? Like, what if Thomas Harley is the new Zach Werenski? Then all of a sudden you have all this forward value and you get the defenseman super late. Nate just goes super early at 29. I guess he has Makar, but I'd be more inclined to pair with McKinnon. Tage goes. Interesting. Let's go Adam Fox, and let's go my boy, Clayton Keller. I feel like I may have had this start before, man. I've drafted, by the way, this is my 57th team. You can draft up to 150 teams on Drafters. If you guys are new to this platform, it's a best ball style format, 10K to the first place team. Use code FIREDUP for 100% match deposit up to $100. And yeah, this is a lot of teams drafted. So I'm trying to, as we approach these later drafts, I'm trying to think about my exposures. Do I want Mika Zibanejad at 60% exposure? No, I don't. But he just is there every time, that beautiful lawn black hair of his, and I can't stop myself from clicking him. So I need to slow that down. I'll probably draft him in this one, but, you know, I'm thinking about that stuff. I don't want to just keep drafting the same players. Lucio, you're in a grudge match week 1. Would you drop? Brother, we're talking about week 1 already. I mean, are you just talking about a stream, man? Will Kool-Aid's pretty good for, like, the whole season. Are you talking about a stream? I need to know that. Yeah, I think the only thing... I'm mixing in my exposures to Harley and Heiskanen now because we're going to go to training camp, and then one of these guys is going to be on the power play. And all of a sudden, one of their ADPs is going to shoot up. So that's interesting to me. And I'm sort of split, though, 50-50 on power play 1. I think my gut has been telling me Heiskanen as of late, just because you have shooters there. You have Robertson, you have Rantanen. Like, do you really need Harley there? I don't know. It's tough, man. Yeah, I will say, Mitchell, it depends on what platform you're on. Like, Gunther on Drafters is a little bit overrated. Look at his ADP, right beside Sidney Crosby. Like, I love Gunther, but do I want him at 45? Like, he's okay at that price. On Yahoo, his ADP is 120, so give me that all day. But I'm going to talk about this in a video coming up. The only thing I care about is ADP and league settings. Is literally it. So Gunther's great ADP on Yahoo. Not so great on here. Marchenko's great ADP on Yahoo. His ADP on ESPN is trash. It is terrible. So yeah, it's a be what's good, brother. I might stream a Yahoo draft. I am in a league with Apples and Genos and a few other content creators. It's a keeper league, so maybe I'll do that. On Yahoo's a beaut. Dude, Zibanejad is value on every single platform. It's insane. I checked. Underdog, ESPN, Yahoo, here. People just think he's all of a sudden not good. I guess I'd probably go Sergachev here. I could go Hudson, but we have Color and Gunther. Somebody even said to me on Twitter, like, oh, Zibanejad's not going to be power play 1. Somebody said that to me today. I was like, what? I checked. He is 5th in power play goals in the entire NHL in the last 8 or 9 years. Every time I do the freaking hand thing, this camera moves. Hold on. It's so annoying. It is so annoying. Let me fix this real quick. I got to turn this off. I need to make a note of it. Okay, I think we're good. Just looking at these comments here. Yeah, I was talking about Zib. I think, yeah, he's going to go back to being like a 75-point player, in my opinion, 30-plus goals. I was looking at his even strength lines today, and like over the last couple of years, like this might be the best even strength line since, like when he was popping off, he was on a line with Panarin and Buchnevich. Right, the last couple of years, he had Kreider on his line, who's a good player, don't get me wrong, but he's not like a play driver. He's, net front guy, right? Like now he has JT Miller. Now you have a power play with JT Miller on it as well. Zib is locked on that left circle. He's going to be so good, man. Yeah, I read that already. Yeah, by the way, boys, so we'll see when Nate comes on, because I think he said 8:39. He might be coming on after this draft. We're going to talk a bit. I've never talked to Nate, actually, which is, I'm excited to talk to a fantasy hockey expert and pick his brain a bit. And then we'll do some drafts. And if you guys want to draft alongside with us, you can. Yeah, not tonight, Mitchell, but I do want to do that at some point to help you guys out for your upcoming drafts. That's on the plan. That's the plan. That's on the menu. You wanted me to draft Uyghur there? Yeah, I think the problem with Uyghur in this format is he has the blocks and the shots, but the spike weeks aren't necessarily there. On Underdog, I like drafting Uyghur because that league counts hits, right? If your league counts hits, he's an awesome player, but yeah, not so much in this. Our Boomer, appreciate it. Blake, puck. Just trade Dorothea for Verhaeghe. That's fine. I think both those players are really good value and sort of similar players, right? Power play one isn't guaranteed. They're goal scorers. They put up a lot of shots. I think they're going to have similar value this season. So I guess it's neutral. Yeah, Zib will hit the net. Don't you worry, man. Yeah, Pratik, man, you can. So basically, how it works is it's 8 people per draft, and then you join. You can see how many people are in the draft at the time. And then you join, and it will be like, okay, wait for 4 more. So you can time it. If you see that me and Nate join one, and there's like 2 spots left, you can time it. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm getting lost here. Jesus. Okay, we'll go. Whoa. Robert Thomas. Holy moly, that was a huge reach. I don't know what I'm doing. And then we'll go Jacob Checker in here. That's fine. Sorry, boys. I'm a little bit talking to chat and then also making picks here. Listen, I have not been able to stack Keller and Gunther enough in this format. Barkov is like 40% exposure. So I've drafted him a ton, and I can't just keep drafting Barkov. I did that last year, and he wasn't that good. So you just want to keep your exposures typically under like 30%, and I can't just click Barkov every time. I'll be avoiding those drafts. Oh, yeah, that's funny, Marty. I'm sure you're talking about the Pratik comment. If you're fading Dean and 8-man head-to-head points league, would Klingberg and Fowler be options as late-round options? I mean, if you're fading D, it will depend on league settings. I think if you're in a plus-minus league, do not touch John Klingberg with a 10-foot pole. But I like Fowler. Fowler, I will say, his peripherals are pretty trash, though. So it's going to depend, right? If you're in a shots, hits, blocks league, then I'm sure there's better defensemen that you can get really late, right? Like Nikishin. I guess Nikishin's ADP is kind of high on Yahoo. I'd have to look. Darnell Nurse, Colton Parayko. Like, some of these guys are going pretty late. Thoughts on Wyatt Johnson this year over Robert Thomas? Will depend on the format. On ESPN, Robert Thomas is like the most insane value. On Yahoo, it depends, right? Because Wyatt Johnson has dual eligibility. And also, like, if your league heavily values shots, Wyatt Johnson takes more shots than Robert Thomas. It depends what platform, and it depends what settings, man. I know that's probably not the answer you wanted, but... So how this works, David, is there is 5,600 teams that are drafted. It's just one league. It's 8-team drafts. You just join, and you can do up to 150. Number 1 team wins 10K. Second place is 5K. And then the prizes go like the top 800. What pick range would you consider good value for drafting NHL pariah Elias Pettersson? I think like around the 60 to 70 range. I don't think he's going to be over a point per game. I really don't. I talked about this, but the 2 years where he really popped off, you had insane efficiency from Andrei Kuzmenko and insane efficiency from Brock Besser the next year. I just, I don't know. It also depends on the platform as well, right? Like, he has center. Does he have center left wing eligibility? That's pretty good. So I would say like the 60 range on a platform like Yahoo. He took Pettersson at 47. That's not terrible. He also put, like, if you can actually shoot the puck. Hold on. Holy moly. This guy is definitely watching the stream. This guy picks a Benajad 40 picks past ADP. We go Sorokin, and we go... Could go Haskin in here, but... Yeah, we'll go Heiskanen. Screw it. We'll go Heiskanen. I could have went another defenseman later, but that just rounds out my D there. Anderson cleaned up for me last year in peripherals. Not a heavy cats league. So fast draft is every 30 seconds there's a pick. Slow draft, it's every 8 hours. So if you don't want to like be panicked when a pick comes up like I just was a few seconds ago, you'll get a notification. It'll say you have 8 hours to make your pick. Now this gets faster as the season goes on, right? Because, well, it depends actually. This is pretty early, but eventually the slow drafts will get quicker and quicker. It will be 6 hours per pick, 4 hours per pick. But it's a little, a nice change of pace. Would you take Lacombe, Jones, or Theodore? If you're asking which one's the best there, I would say Shea Theodore. If you're asking if I like all those guys, the answer would be yes as well. Theodore does get injured every year. I get it. Yeah, I mean, injuries are definitely more detrimental for sure. I mean, you can't, there's no ads, no drops, no trades, no roster management. So, yeah, you lose it on your player, but you can't control injuries. Marner or Panarin this year? Marner. I would go Marner. 8 hours? You okay, man? Maybe I missed something here. Feeling good about any of your teams so far? Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely playing the numbers game. There's some teams I really, really like. Yeah, Scotty, I'll be on here, man. We got a very special guest, Nate from Apples and Genos, coming on in a little bit. I'll probably be streaming till like 10:30. So another 2 hours of me being a degenerate, drafting 150 teams. Oh, Huey said he auto-drafted. I'm curious who he auto-drafted. Interesting. Okay. We have McDavid. I'm like inclined to go Hyman here. We'll go Hyman, and then we'll complete the Utah stack with Cooley. This is the team so far. Pretty good. I was hoping to maybe get Shea Theodore later, but I understand why he didn't slip. Like, I probably should have went... Oh, no, never mind. I didn't have the option to go Theodore there. Theodore, Lacombe, or Jones. Oh, plus minus as well. I'd probably go Jones because you can get him later in your draft. That's who I'd probably go with. Lacombe is close though. I do like Lacombe quite a bit. Yeah, that's what I would say. It's all about value, man. Hyman or Bo Horvat? Hyman, for sure. For sure, man. In the Yahoo head-to-head points league, who are the Mount Rushmore of D-men this season? Are you talking about the 4 best? I mean, the picks are pretty obvious, right? It's freaking Makar, it's Quinn Hughes, it's Zach Werenski, and it's Rasmus Dahlin. But if you're talking about my favorite value, I mean, I just made a video on defenseman. I went over literally my favorite defenseman guys specifically on Yahoo in a points league. Well, general, I talked about category leagues as well. We don't know if Heynt's out unless we have new news. Supposedly, the progress was good. I should probably check. I probably actually should check this. But the last I read is that he wasn't going to miss too much time at the start of the year. Yeah, we don't know if he's going to be ready for the opener. Okay. Thank you for reminding me though when I'm drafting Zach Hyman. That's Cole Perfetti or Nikushin. I love the spelling. The answer is Nichushkin if that's the player you are referring to by like a countrywide mile. All right. I want a certain player, but I got to be worried about GTSD. Okay, that's fine. We will go, since we got Marner. Oh, somebody freaking took him. Gosh darn it. I guess he had Eichel. That's fair. We'll go Drake Batherson. And we'll go... We do have Marner who could play with Hurdle. Go with Hurdle. Yeah. Yeah, cheers, Chris. Brandon. If all available in the same round, I mean, listen. Theodore has so much upside. Like, I'd probably go Theodore all in the same round. I know he doesn't get the hits and blocks, but he's going to put up the shots and the goals and the assists and probably the good plus minus. So yeah, that would be my answer. Okay, hold on. I just need to grab something real quick. I'll be back in 30 seconds. All right, we are back. Okay, what did this guy say? Thoughts on Landeskog? I mean, he should be top 6 power play 1. The question is health. You know, we haven't seen enough games, but I don't know. I saw a clip today. He was practicing with McKinnon and he scored a goal. It was nice to see those two. So yeah, I mean, I'm a fan. I think he can put up like 25 goals, 30, 35 assists, solid shots, hits, and blocks. Maybe even room for more if his health is fine, if he is the same player. Like, medicine has advanced. You know, he had this sort of weird surgery that wasn't very common. But I think at his ADP, he's worth taking a flyer on, especially if your league values hits. I need another goalie here. Oh, shoot. Nice. All right, we got Logan Thompson, and then we go... This one's kind of tough. Brian Rusts. You know what? We'll go Rust here. Can you explain a bit about this Drafters 10K event? What's the entry fee, and is it a set and forget draft? So it's $10 per team. Okay. You can draft up to 150 teams. And how it works is there's 5,600 teams drafted. Like, you enter a draft with 8 teams. That's how the draft works. You can do up to 150 drafts. And it's best ball style format. So no ads, no drops, no trades. You just draft your teams, and drafters will automatically put your high scoring players into these positions in the left corner here. 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and 1 goalie. And also 2 flex, which it should be here, but it's not. But 2 flex is either a forward or a defenseman. So those are counted every week automatically. You don't got to do anything. And by the end of the year, it obviously adds up, and whoever has the most total fantasy points wins 10K. Sort of a short summary of it. Landeskog over Huberdeau, I would say yes. I would say it's worth the upside in the top 6 on Power Play 1. You know, I haven't really drafted too much of Landeskog here because it's an 8-team league, right? There's so many good players, but I'll mix them in with some McKinnon teams. I don't know if he's going to have a career year because he how many points did he put up a couple years ago? 109. Yeah, I don't know about a career year, but I do like Robertson, man. If he was playing incredible in the second half, man. He missed training camp. He had that foot injury. You have Rantanen now, new head coach, maybe more ice time, really good power play. In my opinion, it should be one. They really struggled in the first half. So I think Robertson could put up 90 points. I'm definitely a fan. The question is, do I go another defenseman here or not? That's where I'm always at the end here. 5 defensemen versus 4 is sort of tricky. What did he get taken? Oh, he did. Where did he get drafted? He got drafted 100? Bro. Patrick Kane, Marchessault, or Cutter Gauthier. We'll go Marchessault. What is this? Fired Up Fantasy's #1 fan. Who is this? Who the hell made this freaking account? I don't know whether to be flattered or concerned. Who's the biggest undrafted sleeper? I have to look, man. If I could only choose one. Hold on. Let me just look, and then I got to invite Nate in here. Nate is joining the stream. I'll take a look here on Yahoo. Since you kindly have, since you're my number one fan, I do have to look. I would say on Yahoo, Brock Besser. Brock Besser is just right there undrafted. Troy Terry, Brock Besser. Those two are going undrafted on Yahoo right now, and they shouldn't be. Anyone else? No. Those two stand out. So yeah, that would be my answer for you, brother. All right, let me send this link to good old Nate from Apples and Genos. Okay. Hopefully that works. And we will wait. Anyways, boys, that was the team. I think it's fine. If Haskins not power play one, I do have concerns. But the goalies are sick. And, I mean, listen, we got Davo on our team, so we got to be pretty happy about that. I would say in casual league, Seth Jones is getting faded. I would say that. Your casual league mates are not fans of Seth Jones. 60 plus, maybe a little bit later, I would say. Maybe like, I mean, if I'm looking at Yahoo ADP here right now. His ADP is 95. Yeah, I think anywhere, like if you grab Seth Jones, also Sergachev's ADP is 80. Sergachev has better value than Seth Jones. But I think Seth Jones will actually fall later than his current ADP on Yahoo. I think Sergachev's probably the best value on Yahoo right now if we're talking about defensemen. Oh, shoot, Nate's in here. Let me turn off the music. Nate, what is up, buddy?
Not too much. Thanks for having me. We finally made this work.
I know, man. It's been a long time coming, man. I've been wanting to talk to you, and obviously I linked up with Blake. But yeah, appreciate you coming on, dude.
Absolutely.
What I wanted to do before we do a draft, I'm assuming you're down to do a draft in here?
Yeah, man.
Okay. What I want to do is just talk a little bit because I'm so curious.
All right.
I guess I'll start off with, hold on, let me make this bigger real quick so the viewers can see us. There we go.
They might want to see you. I don't know if they want to see my face. But...
There we go. Who is your most drafted player on Drafters right now?
That's going to be Barkov, I'm pretty sure.
And what percent is that?
That is an excellent question. It's probably embarrassingly high, to be honest with you.
I think I have one that might be worse.
Oh, it's only 30%. That's not that bad.
See, I see you in my drafts, and I see a much more smart approach than me. I see a much more conservative approach. I have 62% Mika Zibanejad.
That's a take. Wow.
I know. I understand. But I guess I have a bunch of questions for you.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on Mika Zibanejad then? Can you reassure me?
I mean, I like him where he's being drafted in here. The Rangers are super easy to stack in drafters, so it makes a ton of sense from that perspective. I don't think he's coming off the power play anytime soon, so you can stack him with anybody on that power play. And I mean, I still projected him for 71 points, 200 shots. If the power play is good, he's going to be good. So, I mean, where he's going in these drafts, and if you got any other Rangers, it makes sense.
Okay, I like that. I think the big thing for me is the spike week potential, you know, like if the Rangers are good, like if you look at his game log in the last couple of years, he'll have 3-4 points. So that's sort of like where I see him going like 120. I'm like, who else am I going to take when I'm looking at the rankings?
Yeah.
Do you have any like guys in the late rounds that you're just constantly clicking on? Because the Zibanejad is probably my number one guy.
Yeah, there's a few guys down there. like if you're just talking spike week guys, then Dorofeev definitely pops for me down there. Like the absolute top tier ceiling outcome is that Dorofeev is like the guy you had to have, and he's on like half of the top 50 teams or something just because he went so insane. Like there's a world, right, where he's plays with Marner even strength and on the power play all year, and he pops for like 45 goals or something insane. And so
Yeah.
to get that at 120 would be pretty sick. That's the obvious one to me that I've been clicking a lot down there. I mean, there's the other guys too, like Fantilli's down here at
Mm,
128. That's a guy that you could see if he does take over line one power play one all year, then he could really pop from down this far. So there's a few guys I like. I like the some of the defenders too, like Nikishin and Perek. Like one of these
mm.
guys, I feel like there's a bunch of D sleepers this year, and I feel like one of those guys is going to be not to the same extent that Werenski was last year. Like he was an established product and then took another step to like go elite, and obviously was a huge part of drafters teams last year. But I think some of these guys could really flesh out a lot of drafters teams, like as a fifth defenseman from the back end there. And so I like a guy like Perek. Like he might take a while to come online, but he could be like the guy you had to have in the back half that really elevates a few teams. So I've been clicking a bit of
Interesting.
him.
I have not drafted Perek just because, like, in my mind, it's like the total fantasy points. Like, maybe in like, oh, my freaking camera's doing this again. Every time I freaking put my hand up, it starts moving. Sorry, let me fix that.
Just trying to get that close up.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is, like, maybe on underdog, I might want Perek because like
Hmm.
the playoff weeks, but I don't know. I don't know. Like, do you think Parek's gonna get good, like even strength ice time? That would be my sort of concern with him.
Yeah, I think the biggest question is how fast Rasmus Anderson gets out of town. Because if he leaves
Mm,
sooner rather than later, then I think Perek goes up the lineup quicker. So yeah, it is a swing. Like, no doubt it's a swing. But if you like, I don't know. There's been a few times where I'm like, man, I don't like the defenders that I've drafted here. Just been like taking some value. I got sniped a bunch of times on the guys I really wanted. And I get down to the end and I'm like, who might actually like elevate from back here on defense? And like, it's not going to be Neil Pionk or Owen Power or somebody else that he's getting
yeah,
drafted around, right? Like, I feel pretty confident about that. So I've been taking that swing. I mean, I'm not. It's not like every draft or anything crazy,
yeah,
but I've been taking that swing as a guy who might actually get there.
yeah. He's no Mika Zibanejad.
No, obviously not.
Do you think Nikishin could be power play one? Is that why? Because I also have not drafted Nikishin.
I think I think Gostisbehere's got it to start, but I mean, the one thing Kishin can do, like he's got the peripherals down. Definitely saw that from his time in the KHL. Had some massive point totals in the KHL. I think Carolina could be pretty good. The addition of Ehlers makes them even more well-rounded on offense. So they could score some more goals this year. And then I just think he's good. Like I'm not sure exactly how it works out in the end, but I want to bank on if I'm taking like a last round shot on a guy, he's sitting there in the last round a lot of times, going undrafted in some of these. So if I don't want to take Perek for the fifth straight draft or something, if I'm feeling a little overweight, then I go that way sometimes.
Right. I have so many questions for you. I know we got to hop into a draft. Like, how long are you on the stream for?
Yeah, I can give you a solid hour at least here.
Okay, so like till 10.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. So we'll talk maybe for like another 10, 15 minutes. I have so many
sure.
questions.
Yeah.
Because I know you were doing drafters last year.
Hmm.
Tell me about your strategy last year and then what you learned from that and what you're doing this year.
Yeah, I think I learned a few things. Um, I think you got to have a good reason to get away from 10-5-3 as base. So you got to have like, if you're going to go 4D, you better have a couple of the real top guys at defense. And I have been trying to get all the combinations of the top guys because it is pretty hard for a guy to elevate the way Werenski did last year. We don't get that very often, quite honestly.
Yeah.
And then the other part is trying to find the next Werenski because he was such a big part of a lot of teams last year, like far and away the most drafted guy on all the top teams last year, just by percentage of, I think, the top 50 teams or whatever. He was on like half of them or something stupid.
I was looking at this today. I
Okay.
think I was looking at the top 30. I think my team and like two others didn't have Rowinski on
Yeah.
there. I
It's
was
crazy.
it was insane. And I get it. I mean, like he was what drafted in like the 6th, 7th round or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I guess my question as well would be like I typically I've done some I would say maybe like 25%, 20% doing 10-5-3, but the rest I'm doing 11-4-3.
Okay.
I think my approach to that is because I've been going very heavy defense early in all of my drafts,
Hmm.
just because I know the values I can get at forward later. It's probably
Yeah.
going to change as ADP starts to change. Like, what's your thesis on 5 defensive versus 4? Is it only if you have sort of kind of some crappy defensemen that you want to mix in a 5th, or you just think that it's better to have 5 in general?
I think I don't think it's necessarily better. I just think that defense is pretty up and down. It's a more injured position than forward too. So playing with four, like you could have a really good team that's just absolutely sunk by 2 weeks down for your top guy if you only have four, because then you're just counting on your 3 and 4 guys to have the right weeks at the right time. Doesn't always work out. So it can be tough to it's easier to skate by a good team that gets an injury at the wrong time if you got the extra D. Whereas, with the forwards, you obviously just have uh, only 5 spots they can play in any given week. So to have 10, you're already doubling your numbers there. So that's part of it. But I definitely don't think that it's a bad idea to go for. I think the winner last year was 11-5-2 and only went with 2 goaltenders, I think.
Yeah, I think they had Helynt and Shesterkin and Abo. Yes, that was his name.
Yeah. Yeah, so like definitely other stuff works, but also what I really want to see, and I don't know if there's a way to pull this, but what I really want to see is, the majority of the teams in the top 50 or whatever line you want to call it there, they were 10-5-3, but also like the vast majority of teams drafted are 10-5-3. So I want to know if there's a difference between the overall field and the
Dude,
top 50,
I
right?
was
That's what I
literally
really want to
thinking this
know.
today. I was
Yeah.
literally thinking this today. I was looking at the teams. I was like, which teams had 5? Which teams had 4? Um, and yeah, that's a big question. Like, was everyone just going 5 because they thought they had to? Like, I
Hmm.
remember when I was my first year drafting, I didn't even understand the format.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even get it. I didn't know there was 2 flex either because it doesn't show on the left side. I
Right.
was
Yeah.
drafting 4 goalies. So how many people last year think, oh, 5 is optimal, but it's really 4?
Yeah. Could be.
And I was also trying to look at like I was trying to look at the points, like, okay, if they didn't have that fit defenseman, because all of these teams in the top 100 that had a fit defenseman, like the fit defenseman didn't really add much to their team. It maybe added like
Hmm.
20 points. But then I looked at their last 4 and I was like, how much did they add? And it was sort of similar.
Hmm.
I guess my thoughts are like, if we're trying to win the contest, I feel like we might want to assume. I know it's not going to always be the case, but we probably want to assume that our top defensemen stay healthy. So that's why I
Hmm.
struggled going with the fifth defenseman because I feel like I'm just wasting a pick out of fear. Like,
Hmm.
and I used to do this. In my first or second year, I would get like, I would get the guy that would be power play 1 if the guy got injured, and that's not an EV plus play. I would imagine. Like, you want to assume that these guys stay healthy all year and are good if you want to win. So that's why sometimes I don't go fifth. Like,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I think definitely to some extent for any team to be the winner, it's got to be healthy pretty much the whole year. And so if you are going 2D early, the way I like to think about it too is just like how much actual draft capital am I allocating here? So if you can just like assign a dollar value to each pick throughout your draft, right? Like your first round pick, you have, say, your total budget is $100. Your first round pick is worth a huge amount of that, right? Like call it $25 or something, a quarter, maybe it's 30, whatever dollar amount. And that just kind of gets down and down and down from there. And so I kind of want to have the same amount of dollars allocated to each position is the way I kind of think about it, right? So if you are spending, like, say you're going two defensemen in the first three rounds, then you're kind of using up all your capital that I want to allocate to D kind of that early, and then I'll wait, right? Then I'll go back to maybe I'll wait on my third defenseman literally to like the hundreds in some cases, and just assume, like you're saying, that those top 2D are pretty much it nearly every single week. And realistically, if you look at it, like if you're getting the Hughes, if you're getting the Bouchard, the Werenski, the Dahlin, obviously the Makar, like those guys are actually going to be in your lineup like at least 75% of the time while they're healthy. Like there's just no other defensemen who really come close to them. And
Right.
so it's not actually that bad of an assumption to make. The question is, can you really fill in around that? And so I have been looking at some stuff with the games played optimization, because obviously the teams don't all play the same number of games every single week. So if I get the
Interesting.
first two guys, like if I throw in Kale McCarr, if I go McCarr and say I get Quinn Hughes, like my first two picks, somehow I get those two guys together, then if you look at it, like the Rangers are a really good team. They have a lot of extra games played. So think about it like if they play 4 games in one week, that Makar is only playing 2, then you get a +2 that week. That's probably a week that Makar might not actually hit your lineup, but somebody who's playing 4 games that week might be able to hit your lineup that week. So I'm looking for those kind of opposite correlations in terms of the games played. So like a Utah would be another team that would do well in that scenario where you have Colorado and Vancouver. So I have like a little games played matrix for myself where I can kind of figure out who's on the opposite sides of that. And I've
That's
been kind of
good.
playing it that way.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I was thinking that too. Obviously, like in terms of stacking, right? I think stacking is very important in this format. You could run into a situation. It's probably unlikely, but where like the Red Wings guys, the Larkin, DeBrincat, and Raymond, they might go off like very similar weeks to like the Kucherov and points, and that
Yeah.
would really suck because then you're going to have guys that don't fit into your 5 forwards. Well, I know it's 3 forwards, but the 2 flex.
Yeah.
So it's interesting you're looking at that. That's a pretty it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think any little edge, right? Like you want to put yourself just that little percent ahead, and then, there's a huge amount of luck involved in trying to project an entire NHL season here on September 16th. But any little edge you can put in your favor is going to do something for you.
Yeah, I think my approach also is like right now I am going a lot of defensemen early because like if I know there's certain players that are going to get insane spike weeks like insane forwards.
Yeah.
So you either want to like if you're going defenseman early, you want to find the forwards that are going to be like the league winners, like you mentioned the Fiefs or maybe the Zibanejad or some of these other guys super late. But if you're doing the opposite approach, that could even be better. Like if you're getting like if you hit on Harley or Heiskanen
Hmm.
or like is there any other defenseman that you think of sort of in that range that you like if you're fading defenseman, are you going for like a Dougie Hamilton? Is that what you're trying to do as well to find that next Werenski?
Yeah, I think you have to be cognizant of the fact that there probably will be one guy who at least outperforms. Probably doesn't do what Werenski did last year. That was a pretty huge outlier if you just look at the last number of seasons. But like, I do think Harley could be that guy if he gets power play one, which is not a guarantee.
No.
Some people are acting like it is, and I really don't
It's
think it
it's it's
is.
literally a coin toss, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty close, if not. So, but I do think Harley actually has that potential to pop off and have like a 70-point plus season in a ceiling scenario. Whereas, like, there's not a lot of other guys that I think that about. Luke Hughes, I do think has that, but he doesn't have the peripherals for this format, which makes it a little bit tough. But again, you're getting him pretty late. I think there's some people worried about his contract. I'm not super worried about that yet. Maybe if it's like a week before the season and it's still not signed and he's missed a bunch of camp and preseason games are starting, but And I think, I mean, he's got all the leverage in the world. His brother's right there beside him. Like, what are the Devils gonna do? Not pay him? I just think it's gonna get done. So, I've been taking a bunch of Luke Hughes as a guy. I think if he gets that power play, then he could really pop for a big year. All his underlying stuff looks terrific. He's not like a goal scorer, which does hurt him a little bit in this format, but for the price you're paying, I think it's well worth it.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I've been drafting Luke Hughes. I've been mixing him in. I think also with the peripherals you mentioned, like it's interesting. I had to go back and check because I like to put in all the different league settings. Like I like to compare to like Yahoo and like ESPN and stuff like that. To my knowledge, like shots and blocks aren't terribly like insanely valued in this format, correct?
Yeah, it's not crazy. I think Yahoo's probably higher. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
ESPN has a massive blocks weight, like
yeah.
just
It's insane.
insane. You can just draft like Chris Tanev on ESPN and outscore Luke Hughes. So,
It's so stupid.
but
Yeah, I'd have
yeah,
to. I think because I know Yahoo like shots are valued pretty heavily.
yeah.
Hold on, let me just. I want to look here in terms of how many people are. Okay, we gotta wait. Let's enter this draft and we'll just
Okay.
keep talking here because we do have 6 spots to fill. Um, I just do want to check here the scoring settings here. The shots are 0.3 and goals are 3. So that's 10% of goals. I think Yahoo it's 12%.
hmm
So I guess that is like decently valued. That's fair. But also like it won't be like as much of an advantage versus a Yahoo points league because it's mainly
Right.
about spike weeks.
Yeah.
Um, it's not like a matchup versus an opponent. Um, Now, I did want to ask you as well, like, what other players are you liking on Drafters?
Yeah, I'd have to go back to my. Let's check out the exposures. Who else I got a big bag of this year? Yeah, it's Barkov. I have been taking a bunch of Jack Hughes. Jason
Mm,
Robertson, I got a lot of Seth Jones. I've been getting Ovechkin because it seems like he falls like 15 picks past ADP in every single
really?
draft I'm in.
Dude, I haven't drafted Ovechkin once.
So
We,
this
we
is the
have a very
thing.
different approach. I'm like a high risk. Like, if I hit, it's going to hit.
Yeah.
But if I don't, I'm screwed pretty much.
Yeah, the thing is like,
By the way, the draft's starting. I don't know if you
yeah,
noticed this.
I got
Okay,
myself in there. First pick, let's
gotcha.
go.
Yep, back to back. 1-2.
Well, this is a question too. Like McDavid, McKinnon, I've been trying to just kind of even myself out across the two. How have you been handling one, two?
Same thing.
Yeah.
But I think McDavid, I feel like McDavid might be better than McKinnon this year. I have a gut feeling. Did you read what they were saying? McDavid wants to shoot the puck more. He
Yeah.
said, it's funny. He said they had the, I know it's like kind of stupid. It's like they do this in the NFL where you read too much into what coaches say or whatever.
Yeah.
But the year that McDavid had 60 goals and whatever, 350 shots, they literally talked about it too. It was Draisaitl was like, I told him he's got to shoot the puck more, and that's what he did. So
Yeah.
that excites me.
Yeah. I think it's definitely possible. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he decided to just do it. Like Sidney Crosby had a year like that too, where he was like, I'm just gonna shoot it this year, and all of a sudden he like scored
Yeah.
20 more goals than the previous year. So these guys at these level, they can do it whichever way they choose to. Back to Ovechkin though, because I think this is actually I've been trying to formulate my own kind of opinion here, and I've been taking him because like the spreadsheets say to take him when he's fallen that far past ADP. I never feel like great about it because yeah, the guy's old. He can barely skate anymore relative to all these 21-year-olds entering the league every year. But like he's just coming off like what was it, a 55 goal pace?
Yeah.
It's hard
Pretty
to
good.
like it's hard to discount what he just did. Same team. They literally returned like pretty much the exact same team. You know that he's gonna sit there for 4.5 minutes on the power play every single game and just bomb away all day. So like at the end of the
Mm,
day, I feel like just the value alone, if he is gonna fall in a bunch of drafts, and he has been, um, I'm gonna end up with some Ovechkin this year. And again, I don't feel like great about it, but at the end of the day, like I think he could. I think people are like they like know that he overachieved last year, and so they're kind of like overcorrecting all the way the other way. And like even if he just kind of finds the middle somewhere, even if he went back to the kind of the rates from before, and doesn't, as long as he doesn't like actually fall off the cliff, I think he's gonna be actually decent. So that's kind of where I'm landing, at least for now.
I think I
But
have to
yeah,
snipe you here.
all right. I
So,
figured.
I'm sorry. I love drafting defensemen, man. Um, okay, so I guess my issue with Ovechkin is I think in this format, like when I look at forwards later on, like when we're talking about spike weeks, like Tim Stutzla, Alexander Barkov, Adrian Kempe, Sebastian Aho, Robert Thomas, like Wyatt Johnson, there's so many guys that could have insane spike weeks that I don't know Ovechkin has in the bag,
Hmm.
in this offense. Should I take Rantanen here? I feel like this is pretty Rantanen or Marner. We'll go Miko. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I'd have to take a look at his game logs. I guess if the shots are there, it's pretty nice. But like I am expecting regression. I mean, I know you expect regression too.
Hmm.
I just don't like the ADP at all. Like I think if he was going 20 picks later, or like maybe 15 picks later, I'd be in. And I worry about durability as well. Like that has to be a concern at 40 years old. Fractured his leg last year. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, yeah, it is tough. It is like it is a spot where you feel like either I'm getting a really big steal here or I just wasted a fifth round pick or whatever it was. Like it's kind of feels like there's no in between with Ovechkin this year.
Yeah, because like I'm also just thinking about like if we're looking at average fantasy points per game here, like obviously Ova, you see like 4.26, but a lot of that is going to be on nights where he might put up like 8 shots, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like a Robert Thomas, he might have way more spike weeks, but his like baseline is crap.
Hmm.
So like that's sort of where I go to as well. Like if I can get some of those massive spike weeks for a guy like Robert Thomas, I don't care about the floor. Like I don't care about the shots.
Yeah.
Are you thinking at all like that when it comes to like the peripherals and the floor versus the ceiling?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure you have to, right? In this format, you have to think about floor versus ceiling, but you also have to think about in weeks where your team doesn't have it, can you also just get across to the next week to get to those spike weeks? Like to be the team at the end of the year, you have to not miss, right? As well.
Right.
So spike weeks are super important, but if you load up with all the guys with just a huge range of outcomes to where they're like not in the NHL to I think this guy could score 35 goals this year. If like that's your whole team, then the odds are pretty good that you're going to miss on, half of those picks or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And then your team's sunk. Even if you hit on half, you missed on half too. And the misses actually add up faster than the hits. So that would be the other side of the coin too is yes, you want to take those swings, but you don't want to take too many in the same draft, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think I'm taking really many swings. Like honestly, I'm just the problem is the amount of exposure I have for certain players. I have 40% of a bunch of guys. Barkov is also 40% for me. Verhaeghe's around 30%. I think Robert Thomas is 35% as well because his value is insane. Like this guy could put up 90 points and he's sitting there at like 75 ADP. It's ridiculous, man. So, um, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Let's go. We'll go Jake Sanderson. Um, I wanted to ask about goalies. How are you approaching goalies in this format?
Yeah, I think you gotta pay the piper a little bit with goalies. I'm basically my approach to goalies is I will take the guy who falls and just kind of leave it at that. Um, I'm trying to get all the different combinations. Like we talked about the Hellebuck Shesterkin team last year being the number one team.
Yep.
I want those combinations because there is going to be a combination of two guys that is like the nuts at goaltender this year. And I want to have at least a couple teams with each combination if I can. And if I can get to that spot, then I'm feeling pretty good at the end of the day about my odds of also drafting the forwards and defense around that to make it work. So really, I'm just taking value at goaltender is really the approach. Wherever I get the ADP slip, that's where I'm going to.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting because like if you look at underdog, goalies are going way higher, and even though there's playoff weeks, it's essentially the same league settings. It's essentially the same format.
Yeah.
So it's very weird. Like I really struggle to pick these high goalies, even though I think they could be sick because like why are goalies going so late? Like I just have to play the board, but like they really shouldn't be going as late as they are. Like some of these goalies, um, a guy like Logan Thompson or even
Yep.
like Stuart Skinner. I don't know. It just
Yeah.
it's insane to me with the value here. We'll go. We'll go Thomas Harley. I was scared you were gonna pick him, and I have two Dallas guys. I was very scared. Were you
This is a
gonna take him
brutal
there?
part of the draft. I was thinking about it, yeah.
Okay.
I really don't like this area.
You got to go Ovi.
Yeah, now that I talked about it, eh?
I kind
But
of want
see,
to go
that's the
Ovi. You're
thing.
kind of convincing to me.
That's the thing. Like I've been getting him at like 60 because he just keeps falling and falling, and so I don't want to take him at ADP anymore. I feel like I can wait. Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't feel good no matter which way I go. I guess I'll mix in some Stützle.
Oh, God damn it, Nate. I needed him with Sanderson. Okay. Could go
That
a
was for
goalie here.
Bouchard.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair. I deserved it. Ah, shit. You know what? I don't even care. We're gonna go Shea Theodore. See, I end up doing this every draft, man. I just get four really good defensemen every time.
Hmm.
And it might sink me, but like when I'm getting the forwards that I'm getting in these later rounds, I can't help myself.
Yeah, I don't think it's a terrible idea. Like even my like where I'm at on Stützle projection wise for this format, like it doesn't work out to a guy that I should take around pick 50 at the baseline projection. So he's got to have just kind of an excessive year just to return value here relative to those kind of guys you're talking about. Like even the Rob Thomas is not that far off of what I'm expecting from Stützle this year.
Or like Fiala and Ehlers are going 50 picks later.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't hate it. I mix everybody in like you have
I
to in
know. I don't
150
though.
entries, but
I
yeah.
don't, dude. I think I'd be curious to know how many guys you have over like 25%. I probably have like 15 guys over 25%.
Yeah, I definitely don't have that many. It might literally only be Barkov that I have that far.
Yeah, it's
Let me
not.
pull it
It's
back up.
probably not the right strategy, but I mean, I guess it worked for me last year because I did have a fourth place team, but if that team didn't hit, then maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I
It's it.
got Barkov at 31 now with this team. Hughes, Jack Hughes, Jason Robertson at 24. I got Seth Jones, JT Miller, Jackson Lacombe around 20.
Mm. Yeah, there's some players I just haven't drafted, and it's not a good thing. I think I'll start doing it as we get later into this, but then at that point, the ADP may have shifted, and I may have made a mistake. Like I don't think I've drafted one share of Macklin Celebrini. Um,
Yeah, I have like two from when he fell like 8 picks or something. I was like, I guess I should grab one here.
yeah, and I like Jackson Lacombe, but I also haven't drafted him just because that sort of it kind of coincides with my strategy getting defensemen early.
Hmm.
Um, I don't have one share of Connor Bedard.
Yeah, I maybe have one.
See, I could go shoot. It's so hard to click a goalie here.
It is.
Like it really is. Okay.
Take Old Faithful.
I draft Aho a lot as well.
Not a bad place to be.
Yeah.
How worried are we about Blackwood? It's just like one random report that like he like hurt something and yelled in practice. That's all I've seen.
He screamed in pain. Um,
I mean, it doesn't sound good, but like it's also September 15th or whatever.
I know. I really hope there's no major injury in training camp or news.
This sucks. All right, let's get some Bedard. Let's do it. Gross.
That's gonna force me to get Bobrovsky. I actually haven't drafted Blackwood once because I'm this is how I roll, Nate. Um, for me, it's like it depends how far he falls. I
Sure.
just really struggle with these goalies with the value I'm getting.
Hmm.
Because I think as well in this format, it's similar to Yahoo where volume matters a lot.
For sure.
Obviously, like you want goalies on good teams. Like Blackwood could have some monster weeks, but also so could Sam Montembeault, and so
Hmm.
could Lucas Dostal and Joey Decord and Karel Vejmelka. Um, but I guess hypothetically, Blackwood could have that sort of amazing year where he's
Hmm.
like goals against and save percentage are incredible, and he wins like 40 games. So yeah, I guess I got to start. I do want to do what you mentioned, like getting the weird like I'll go Vasi, Ottinger, or Shesterkin. I think I might have a couple of those teams, but I do think there is a an argument for that.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the Hellebuck Shesterkin duo being the nuts last year, but like it could easily be like a three-headed version of that this year, right? Like it could be, I don't know, Allmark, Sorokin,
Mm.
Vejmelka for all we know this year. Like that could be the absolute best tandem for this format, just
Yeah, I
with the
guess if the
weeks that they
spike
have.
weeks, if they just correlate, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Think of Dustin Wolf last year. If you draft, I didn't
Yep.
really draft much Dustin Wolf in any of. I don't think I drafted Dustin Wolf once last year, just because
Yeah, I might not have either.
8 team league. But if you got him, then you're flying. So it's tricky for sure. But like, look how far Sorokin is falling. It's actually insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta play the board. I made the mistake of drafting. For some reason, I was drafting Lucas Dostal and Swayman in all of my early drafts because I was just like volume, 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 and I was just like, wait, these guys are on shit teams. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And I had to like settle back. I do have that problem there. My forwards are looking kind of sus here, man.
Happens.
I think we have to pair Aho with Ehlers. I know you're a big Ehlers guy. I saw your projection.
Yeah, that I mean, I don't look at the number until the number pops out at the end. I do that intentionally, and that's the way it came out. It feels aggressive, but um, yeah, I mean, I think he probably had some conversations with the teams and was like, "Hey, I'm not coming unless I'm actually going to get some chances to run with it here. I want to
Exactly,
play with
man.
Aho. I want to play with Jarvis. I want to play with these guys. I think I got to take Sorokin here now.
Yeah, you got it. That's great value.
Uh, there's more goalies
He
here,
just
but I
needs to
don't
stay
really want them.
healthy.
Yeah.
Like that would be great. But what minutes are you projecting for him?
That's a good question. I can pull that one up. I don't think it was too crazy. I think I had a little bit more, but
Damn, somebody
it
took
was
hints. Oh
there.
man, Willie.
73. I
Wow.
got Ehlers for 17, so it's not even that much. It's really just like the fact that last year he was playing with Nemesnikov and Perfetti at even strength all year, and this year
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Aho and Jarvis, and that's just like not in the
Pretty big
same.
upgrade.
Yeah, not in the same echelon at all.
He likes to shoot as well, man. Like if
Yep,
he could put up like 250 shots if he's getting that ice time.
that's what I got him for right on the button. 250.
Ooh, I love that. I think he has some pretty good spike week potential in this format.
Hmm. Yeah, I think they were looking for somebody like that too, right? Like Their power play wasn't as good as it should have been last year too. And
Yeah.
like when Ehlers got on that Winnipeg, like tell me what the difference in Winnipeg's power play was last year versus the year before.
Yeah.
It was they finally put Ehlers
A
on
little
the
bit of
top
a
unit.
difference.
A little bit of a
They were
difference.
like, wait, we should maybe put this one of our best offensive players on power play one instead of
Um,
who was it the year before? Did they put like Adam Lowry on there or something? Like what were they doing? Nino
that's a good
Niederreiter, I
question.
think. They were mixing it up.
I don't even remember who was on it anymore. Blocked it from my mind because I was so angry.
Um I'm curious as well, like I never asked Blake this, but how do you and Blake know each other?
We don't. We've met, but basically he reached out to me and was like, "Hey man, I like what you're doing. Can I get in on that?" And the rest is history.
Really?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing the Apples and Ginos like podcast? Were you doing that before YouTube?
Yeah. So I started the podcast just by myself, I think 2021. Yeah, I think it was 2021. And
Oh,
then,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
slowly brought along YouTube after that.
Okay, and then Blake just joined. That's dope. Ooh. Hmm. Zibanejad is right there for the taking, man. I can't stop myself. I gotta stop myself. What if he gets injured? I'll be donezo. Okay, we'll take him there. We got Theodore, so
Nice. Well, I know he's not going to fall back, so if I want Cooley, I got to take him here.
yeah.
Do have Keller. Yeah, I think I got to pair those two.
I
Some
also have a
other
crazy
options.
amount of Nichushkin, which is very high risk, but that's also like a
Could
high
work
reward
too.
player.
Yep.
Are you drafting Landeskog at all in this?
A couple of times. It's talk about high risk.
Yeah, that's even
uh,
more high risk, I think.
I think I'm gonna take Montour here. I think that's a Spike Week player too, right? Um,
Should I grab the skeleton key?
I think you got it.
I don't know. I do the goalie. Oh, that's probably. What if he comes back in January? You know
It's
what?
possible.
Screw it. Let's say he comes back November 16th.
That'd be pretty crazy.
I saw him in crutches at a wedding, so didn't love that.
I think like the prognosis is they think January-ish, right? Like that's what they're at least saying on the face of it, but we all know that it could be like plus or minus at least a month off of that.
Yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about Kachuk at 100 ADP here? Are you thinking if he fell 10 more picks, he would be a smash pick? Do you think he's a smash pick at all? Like, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I have been trying to avoid putting myself in that position to have to make that calculus. Like if you Yeah, I think once you get into that spot, you have to at least mix them in. You don't have to like be at like 20% Matt Kachuk, I don't think. But I think you do have to mix them in because there is like a good chance that a team gets themselves like keeps themselves in the top 100 until he's back, and then all of a sudden, where everybody else has round 13 Brandon Montour, like I have, you have Matt Kachuk, and those two teams are just not the same the rest of the way.
Right, right. I'm trying to look at my exposure here for Matthew. Okay, I have 10%, which is probably a little bit too much. But I think if I keep it at like maybe 8%, I feel
Yeah,
pretty happy about that.
it's not too bad.
I need another goalie here. But look at all the value on the board.
Yeah.
I think Decord was on my fourth place team. He had a really couple of good weeks.
Yeah, it was just all volume, right? Grubauer,
Remember,
isn't it?
remember Veg got like 25 games in a row.
Yeah, that was
Like what
nuts.
was that, dude? Okay, I think we go. I'm kind of liking Logan Thompson.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
Like, I think he might get more games this year. I think he could get like 50, 55 games. He was, I don't know if I would say much better than Lindgren, but his stats are better.
Hmm.
I don't mind that at this ADP.
How much do I want to bet on Hyman being healthy sooner rather than later here? It's falling
Hopefully
pretty
sooner.
far.
I've been pairing him with McDavid quite a bit.
Yeah, this is a spot to do it, I think.
That's good value, man. Like,
Yeah.
he should, like, what are your thoughts on Hyman? Do you think he should be power play one still? There's no reason why he shouldn't be.
Yeah, I think he should be. As long as he's healthy and good to go, he should bounce back a fair bit. Last year was weird, not just for him, like for the whole team, especially on that power play. So, like I have him for an 82 game pace at 33 goals, 66 points. That's definitely worth it in the 14th, especially if he's spiking at the right time alongside McDavid a fair bit.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think he should bounce back. I know it's just crazy. Like, I didn't obviously I didn't watch every Oilers game, but like, how bad do you have to be to get replaced by Corey Perry?
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen? Was he banged up at all? Like, I just don't. I know Perry was good, but it's just like, how does that even freaking happen after scoring 54 goals?
Yeah, it was a weird year for sure. I think he was banged up. They didn't really make anything too public through the season, but it didn't seem like he was the same.
Did you project the Blackhawks and the Penguins having a better power play than the Oilers last year?
I did not. I would like to see somebody's model spit that one out.
Matt Grzelcyk, league
Yep,
winner.
league winner.
He signed a PTO today. I don't know if you
Yeah,
saw that.
with Chicago, right?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Chicago guys? Sam Renzel is a guy that's interesting in a redraft.
Yeah, I really don't feel like I have a good idea of what they'll do there. Renzel had a great 9 games, but I mean, it was literally 9 games. That means pretty much nothing in the grand scheme of things.
That is true.
Uh, I I've been like 51% leaning that it'll be Lev Shunov over for most of the
Mm.
season, not like 75% of the season, but maybe it's like 60-40 over the course of the season. I think they both get a look on power play one. So I think there is value there because even if it's not as good as it was last year, like I still think it'll actually probably be a decent power play. I think
Yeah.
Teravainen's actually really underrated for how good he is on the power play. He did that for a long time in Carolina and then comes over here and instantly has like 25 power play points randomly for Chicago. So I think that it'll probably be like a decent power play. It'll definitely not be as good as it was last year, but whoever that defender is, I think has some value in redraft.
Yeah, that's tough, man. I think both could be. You're kind of stuck with a shitty goalie here. Who are you gonna get? Gibson, Stolars.
It could be Stores. I think they are going to split it again for the season, but if they do go a 1A route, like Stolar's got it in the playoffs, right? So
Mm.
it could be it.
Yeah, and then a wall injury. He's a smash pick at this value. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I think I'll just do that. I'm pretty comfortable with Sorokin and Allmark getting a ton of volume between the two of them, so I don't feel terrible about that. I don't know who else to go here. Need another defense. Need another
Timo.
forward.
I hate Timo, man. He actually caught like I drafted him so much last year, and he
Yeah,
was just
same. It's
he
brutal.
he was
No
going
power
at
play.
like 40 to 50 ADP on drafters last year.
Yeah, I was majoring on Timo last year, and that really hurt. Sheldon Keefe doing us dirty. No power play time.
But yeah, we say that like I'm so biased against it, but like also what was their power play? Third best in the NHL last year.
Yeah,
Like Nason had like freaking 12 power play goals or whatever. So
yeah,
maybe Keith's a genius.
maybe. I'll never admit it, but maybe.
What are your okay? So I've been projecting Luke to be on power play one just because I think he's just on vibes. I just think he's so talented, way more mobile than Dougie at this stage of their careers. What do you think about that power play situation with those guys?
Yeah, I think it is going to be Luke. I don't know if it's Luke day one, uh,
Mm,
but I do think that he's just trended. Like last year was a rocket ship for him, and all like the micro stats and stuff. They just took off. When Dougie went out, he was on the top power play and he was electric. Like, if it's not day one, I do think it'll be at some point throughout the year and probably earlier rather than later. And from that point on, I think he could score at like a 60 plus point pace. So,
that's pretty good. What is my exposure to Luke right now? Luke Hughes, 21%. Jesus.
nice.
I mean, it's not nice if I guess honestly the upside's there, right? If you draft a lot of Dougie, then you're kind of boned because his ADP is still pretty high. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I have
you
a
kind of
few
just
Dougie teams, but
I do as well. I have 10% Dougie just in case. How are you liking your team?
it's honestly not my favorite. I don't know how I messed up a McDavid team, but it feels like I did.
I feel like when I get McDavid, it's hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like when you're picking back to back, there you just miss out, especially when defensemen start flying off the board.
Hmm.
We'll go Nugent Hopkins here. I'm sorry if that was your last pick with McDavid and Hyman.
Yeah, it could have been. There's a lot of guys down here. I like just trying to find something that correlates a little bit, I guess. Let's
Yeah,
find one forward somewhere. There's nothing crazy. Maybe I'll take a ride on the Steven Stamkos sweepstakes.
I've done. Yeah, those are very hot sweepstakes. I've drafted Stamkos a little bit. Are you down to do another one? We should probably join this.
Yeah, let's get in it.
Okay. Um, I also wanted to ask you what I want to ask you. Oh yeah, like stacking. Like, I wonder if there's any risk to stacking at all. If there's too many spike weeks, let's say you have too many players, like you have like maybe three teams where you stack like three guys on, and then
Hmm.
they all have spike weeks. Like, what's your approach to stacking? Are you avoiding 3-man stacks, and are you only doing one 3-man stack in the draft? Like, how are you approaching this?
I think I would do it. It depends on position too, right? Like if you have a two forward, one defense stack, that is different to me than a three forward stack, because just of the positional eligibility where they fit. Like it's easier to fit in the one defenseman with the two forward than it is three forward.
Mm.
So that matters a little bit. But I am trying to, yeah, going back to that games played correlation, I'm trying to keep the if I am gonna stack up three guys, then I'm trying to find other stacks that are away from that in terms of the games played on the same weeks. So I'm thinking about it a little bit that way. I have a few teams. I haven't. It's not that easy to have multiple three player stacks. So
I
number
think
one again.
Keller or Gunther Cooley's one of them. I've gone quite a
Yeah.
bit. DeBrincat, Larkin, Raymond is possible as well.
Yep.
Like I look back to my team that came in fourth last year. I had a lot of stacks on it. Maybe that was just by luck, but I want to look at all the teams, the top 100 teams, and see the stacks and how much they mattered. Like I
Hmm.
had Jack Hughes, Timo Meyer, Jesper Bratt. I had Larkin, DeBrincat, Raymond. I had Wyatt Johnson, Rupe Hintz. I had Keller and Gunther.
Hmm.
I had a lot of correlating pieces. But when you're looking at these, you mentioned the whole looking at the schedule. It really only matters for teams that have two games, right? You just don't want players on like how many weeks are there going to be where two teams have only two games? Like probably not a lot, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that much is true, and it's pretty hard to find two teams that have two only two games the same week. So
Might happen like once.
yeah, so that's not really a major concern. But
You're
if you
looking at three
can,
versus four.
yeah, yeah, I'm looking for that
Interesting. The
that
micro
little bit of
edge.
plus one. Yeah, the micro
God,
edge.
I'm up. I got to be careful drafting against you, man. You got secrets that I don't even know about.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? My best team was like 20th or whatever last year, and yours was fourth. So what do I know? But
Well,
I'm
dude,
trying.
that team was disgusting, and if you didn't have defenseman injuries, that could have been a
Yeah,
winning team. I remember we were talking about that.
yeah.
Um, I guess that is the risk, and maybe that's why you wanted to go 5 defensemen sometimes. Um, and
Yeah,
then
I
for
might just
me,
be overreacting to that team from last year.
my team had 4 defensemen, and I was peachy.
Yeah.
But I also do think like if your top guys get injured, like if Makar's on my team and he misses 30 games, like my team's not gonna win.
Hmm.
So I don't maybe need to get a Shane Goss to spare in my last round.
Yeah.
This is always the Jack Hughes, Jack Eichel dilemma.
Hmm.
I haven't drafted a lot of Orwinski.
Yeah, I've tried to mix and match all my exposures to, yeah, basically those three versus all the late first guys. But yeah, that's the only differentiation I'm really making there.
Oh,
Hughes has the most like potential, right? Like he could be what, the third best player in this format this year, and that wouldn't be that surprising. The only surprising bit would be that he actually stayed healthy.
that would be very surprising. Yeah, I thought about going Werwinski there, but I think I have a Kaprizov Werwinski team. I just really struggle picking Werwinski. Yeah, I do want to ask about Werwinski, but in terms of Jack Hughes, yeah, I think you're right, right? Like he can put up 40 goals, over 100 points, um, 350 shots, and he's 24, right? Like he's sort of
Yeah.
right in that age range. But yeah, you have to be scared, man. 2 shoulder surgeries in the last 2 years. Um, I think about things like off-season training. Like, what has his off-season training been like? You hear guys like Kucherov, he's like on the ice in May,
Yeah.
grinding like a maniac. And Jack Hughes is freaking probably playing NHL 25 with Quinn and in a sling. So I don't know, man. Like I just don't know much about the rehab process and stuff. So that has to concern you.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of the more risky picks there. But I mean, we said literally the same thing about Wierenski last year, and look where we are. Draft. He's going in the early second of all these drafts this year, so there's that part too.
That's true. I didn't draft a lot of Rowinski. I would have if his ADP was similar to redraft. I loved him in redraft,
Yeah,
but his ADP was like 50 on drafters last year, and I was like, okay, I don't know. He does get injured a lot. Obviously, I don't think anyone expected that type of season, but yeah, you're right. I mean, you don't want to be draft scared in case of
yeah,
injury for upside. Although
yeah. You
Jack
can't.
Hughes, like he's getting picked at 10. If he ends up as the third pick, it's not the most upside. Like Rowinski went from 50 or like I guess he kind of went to like 50 to like 8 in terms of like actual value. Um, but yeah, I guess he could be top 3.
Yeah, I do think like we had a like. I'm trying to remember who it was. Somebody came up from that kind of range and outperformed. Maybe it's just Makar that I'm thinking of that was on so many teams in the top end. But like there is something to that if you're getting basically an extra first round pick with your second round pick. Um, it's not nothing
Mm,
at the top of the draft for sure.
yeah, that's fair. I end up going Braden Point a lot here in this range. I think I'm pretty overweight on him, but I feel like he's kind of similar to Kyle Connor, Nylander, Panera, and Reinhardt, and then you're just getting him at a better price.
Yeah, it is like past Eichel. I would say like that's where I start taking the defenseman a fair bit, just
Yeah.
because all the forwards start to feel the same to me. But yeah,
What's he
it's
say?
not good.
Oh, I knew he was gonna go ahead of him. Yeah, that's why I'm like, do I go? I always end up just going defenseman here. I kind of have to. I was drafting a lot of Yossi early on. I've kind of slowed down a little bit because I don't want to be too overweight on a player like that.
Yeah.
In a Yahoo redraft, Yossi's ADP is pretty good. Maybe if your league doesn't count plus minus, I should add that caveat when I'm making videos.
Hmm.
Um, but he's going kind of like at a similar. He's going like maybe 15 picks later than last year.
Yeah.
Do you have thoughts on Yossi?
I think like we really have no idea, and I'm not even convinced that like they're putting a good face on. They're like, yeah, he's good to go, but like, do we really know like midway through the year when he's taking a million block shots to the sternum and like,
Oh God.
what does it look like at that point? I'd be, I just don't think you can know at this point, and so that is pretty scary for drafters. I think it's a little more simple. You're just like banking on the upside,
Right.
right? And you're just saying, this is it. So I will take him. I'm not going to be overweight on him, but he is one of those D that, like, if you get a couple of them at the top, it could be what you had to have. So not mad about it.
Yeah, I was trying to look at like the previous Nashville teams and really try to think like, okay, Yossi's putting up these numbers with who, and like obviously there's some concerns with Nashville, but like I think the years he was popping off, like Gustav Nyquist was there and putting up numbers, and like Ryan O'Reilly is still there, so it's like I think he can still have a big season. Like he could maybe put up 70 points and 20 goals still, right? That I think that's in the range of outcomes for him.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is. The other part of it too is like how much is actually just like he's not as young as he once was, and is he actually just fallen off a little bit, and is the
Yeah.
upside still all the way there? Because obviously we didn't see it last year and everybody's like, "Oh, it's just because of this." But is it also actually just because he's now 35 years old? And that's definitely possible too. So,
Yeah. Damn, you're making me not want to draft Yossi. I don't. I was drafting him in a lot of my early teams because I was like, this is sick value. Yeah, I have 19% Yossi, which is way too much, I think.
yeah, I think I want to be like at par, which would be like what, 12% or whatever.
Yeah, I think this also just correlates with the me getting defenseman early, and if I'm doing that, right, your strategy's probably just a little different right now.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, definitely don't want to be at 19%.
Gunther just keeps getting steamed up every every
I
single
was just
draft.
gonna say, man, like,
It's a
how do you
rocket
feel
ship.
about this, man? It's kind of ridiculous, to be honest.
Yeah. The problem is like, are they actually gonna give him the ice time? If they are, like, then yeah, I'm in. Like he's obviously terrific. But like even last year, would they give him like 16:48 or something average time on
Yeah.
ice? Are they really gonna turn him into a 19-minute guy this year just because we all think they that they should? I don't know if that's how that works.
Yeah, I struggle with the ADP when you have like Barkov go in 15 picks later and Kempe and like even guys
Yeah.
like Shifley and freaking Aho, and it's yeah, I struggle with it. I do know the Utah coach loves Gunther though. Like he talks
Yep.
about him like he is his son.
Hmm.
And I kind of talk like Gunther's my son as well. He's one of my favorite players. Um, so maybe there's that. Like, do they really have the? They don't have like crazy depth where they need to be rolling three lines. You know,
Yeah.
I'd hope to see more ice time. Do you think he's gonna get more?
Like logically it makes sense to me, but also like they actually have a second line now too, so they don't even
Hmm.
have to just go all out on a top line. Um, so yeah, I think there's a lot of possibilities there. All right, I got to reach on Harley here. Pair him with Robertson. This Barkov's just staring me
Nice.
in the face once again.
I know every time, man.
How do you click somebody else when he's there?
It's hard.
Just gonna do it. I don't care.
Yeah, that's sort of where I am with a lot of these players. Like, I see Nick Suzuki, and I'm like, there's players that are just as good as Suzuki later on.
Yeah.
Um, Hagel, like, come on, why is his ADP this high?
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
if he was gonna score a ton of power play points, then maybe. But even when he's been on the power play, he hasn't been good on the power play. Like they've just
no.
operated as if he's not even there. He's just like a distraction.
When you're putting Darren Radish over Alex
Yeah,
Hagel on the power play, you got to sit back as if you're a Hagel fan and think, maybe they don't want him on power play one.
it's
Maybe.
quite possible.
Do you think it's going to be Bjorkstrand? Because that's what I'm thinking.
I think it makes sense logically. Like they had Stamkos over there for so long, and Bjorkstrand like has a similar profile. He's not nearly as good, obviously, but he shoots the same way. He could set up in that spot. He could take the one-timers that Kucherov feeds across the ice.
Yep.
Theoretically, it makes sense. They tried it for like what 3 games last year, and they're like, nope, and went away from it. But also, like they were going into playoffs, they were trying to get everything sorted. So I don't
Yeah.
know how much to put into that either. I think there's a pretty good chance that Hagel and Bjorkstrand both get chances this year, and then they just try to figure out what's working the best at any given moment.
Yeah, that makes sense. Uh, man, I like going Kempe. Like, what if this? The only thing I don't like, I guess that's one thing we could talk about as well. Like this Kings power play is very interesting.
Yeah.
They had Kempe running the point, right,
Yep.
as the fifth forward. What are your thoughts on the power play? Do you have a strong stance on it?
I mean, it was pretty terrible all year, and then it started working when they used Kempe there. And so, like, I think it's most likely the default option, at least to start. But all it takes is like one bad shorty, and the coach is like, "Never again. We're not doing this." So
Yeah,
that's the concerning part. But also, like, there's other players who could come off. Like Kuzmenko has kind of always done this wherever he's gone. The new coach has been like, "Oh, he's terrific," and then after like 20 games, they're like, "Oh, I hate this guy's guts." So
yeah. He's just so
both
good as that net
options.
front player, though.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's got a good role there. I think their best version of the power play right now probably is the five forward, but I just have no confidence that they'll actually stick with it. I want them to try Brant Clark for fantasy, like give us another
Yeah,
defenseman, but
that'd be
I just
awesome.
don't know if they will.
Yeah, like they put Doughty on there as soon as he came back, and they playing him like 27 minutes a night. It was insane.
Yeah, that was crazy. He was clearly like not quite ready to be back either.
Do you have any very spicy takes this year? I know obviously you've done the projections for all the players.
hmm
I know that's not your like that's what it spits out. But what are your personal hot takes?
I guess the hottest take I have is basically what I got for Rantanen. Like my initial projection came out for him at 85 points, which is obviously super low compared to what he's done in his career.
Right.
But like he's losing 2.5 minutes average time on ice off the top by going anywhere other than Colorado. Like nobody else plays their forwards the way that Jared Bednar plays their top forwards there. So like that's just straight off the top, like 10 to 15%. And you see this in like betting lines too. I was looking at this. Last year, all the betting lines had the over under for Rantanen over 100 points. This year, it's all right around 90.
Mm,
So like all the betting lines are on this too, like 10 points right off the top. And then there's still like a question to me. Like everybody has like those what was it, like 3 games that Rantanen just went God mode against his former team in the playoffs when like it absolutely mattered the absolute most. And everybody has those games in their mind, but they like also conveniently forgot that he just didn't show up against Edmonton in the very next round, and he only had like 3 assists in 5 games. And so everybody like is like, oh yeah, Migo Rantanen, he's absolutely elite. And like I think he's borderline elite, but I think there are actually like a lot of players who are borderline elite. And I guess my spicy take is that I think Jason Robertson is probably just as good as Mikko Rantanen this year.
mm, okay. That is a spicy take because Robertson is going how many picks later? 30 picks or 20, 25 picks later? So I'm assuming your exposure to Robertson is much higher than Ranson in this format.
Yeah, I've got Robertson as one of my top guys. He's over 20% for me,
Nice.
24%. So I'm pretty high on Robertson. I've been grabbing a bunch of him. And then Rantanen, I have, I think, like 3%. Let's see. Oh, I have 6%. Good for me. Staying balanced.
Is there any chance that Glenn Galutzin decides to run these guys 19, 20 minutes?
Well, I mean, even that 85 points, I have Rantanen for 20 minutes there. I just
Mm,
don't think it's going to be more efficient. I don't see how it's going to be more efficient going away from McKinnon and Makar. Like, how does
yeah,
it get
that's
better?
fair.
These are great players in Dallas, don't get me wrong, but you're talking about Hall of Fame caliber players in McKinnon and Makar, and these are not those guys. So, oh man, I guess I'm taking Blackwood here, eh?
At that price, it's like if he's healthy to start the year, you're getting a massive steal.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just waiting for like that report later this week that he's just practicing in full, and then all of a sudden his ADP's right back.
Bro, that was me. That was me with Swayman last year. I thought I was getting a steal, right? With the contract. I said, guys, he's
Yeah,
gonna freaking sign his contract, and I started drafting him like crazy at good value, and he was just trash.
yeah, that was a rough year for just Boston in general. Yeah,
How do you feel about Rupe Hintz? Because I'm a big fan of Hintz this year, um, especially in this format. Uh, I feel like if you're looking at his ice time, he got less than 17 minutes last year. Less depth, new head coach with Rantanen now potentially. Like I feel like he could have a pretty darn good year if he's healthy.
yeah. I actually am pretty high on Hinson for 33 goals, 73 points. I have him back up to 18 minutes this year. I think, yeah, the lack of depth is going to be a big thing. That was always a De Boer thing too, to just spread it out, spread the ice time out so much, and I just don't think they have that luxury this year. There's a pretty clear top six, bottom six to me anyway. We'll see.
Yeah.
Never say never. The myth of rational coaching in the NHL, right? But um, I just think that it's pretty obvious that he's the guy with Rantanen too, like two Finnish guys. It just makes so much sense that
Mm.
he'll just be together the whole year. And that should be as good for Hintz as any situation he's ever had before. Add maybe a minute or a minute and a half more of ice time, and I think you got a 70-point guy easily.
Yeah, I think he could even be 85 points. I know that might seem a little bit too much, um, but I do think if you're looking at his previous seasons, I think he's been an over point per game 2 of his last 5 years. And that was with very limited ice. Well, not very limited, but limited ice time compared to some of the top guys in the NHL. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm curious about this power play. Is there like the roles that
Yeah.
sort of like is Hintz going to be the net front guy? I know they tried Wyatt Johnson. Like Wyatt Johnson sort of settled into that bumper role as the season went on. I know they had Wyatt Johnson as the net front guy at the start, and they had Jimmy Benn in the bumper, which made no freaking sense.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess if Hintz is the net front guy, that could be an issue.
Yeah, and I mean they got their best results with
Don't
Matt
say it.
Duchene on the
Don't
top power
no.
play.
I'm
Like,
pretending that didn't exist.
I mean, it's a true statement. We may not like it, but it's a true statement. He was fantastic on the top power
I
play, actually,
know
and that is concerning.
that would
Um,
really suck if they. I just don't think like we talk about the Finnish connection. Hintz and Branson and Finnish brothers. They're not going to separate those two. Not when I have 30% Hintz.
they know, they know you have 30% hints, and they wouldn't do that to you.
No, I think it will be Hintz. I know Duchesne was
I'm
really
gonna
good on
take him
there.
here.
We'll have to see. But yeah, you're right. Their power play. When Ranton actually came into the team, their power play sucked in the
Hmm.
regular season. It's interesting. Um, and I think that also that makes you worry about Heiskanen. Like, I do think Heiskanen might be power play one. Because if you have Robertson and Rantanen on the flanks, like, do you really need Harley there? Like, you have a
Yeah.
bunch of shooters there. Like, Heiskanen is so good from the blue line.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's also an issue. There's a lot of power plays that are very interesting.
Yeah, it does feel pretty unsettled to me still. Like they just have five forwards who I think are all legit power play one forwards, and they have two defensemen who I think are legit power play one defensemen. And I could see them trying a few different things. In the playoffs, like they didn't have Robertson on the top power play for a good
I
chunk.
know.
And I think that was just because he was coming back from injury, but
I think
like
so too. Yeah.
man, what if they're like, actually, we kind of like the look of that.
No. I think what's also interesting though is like what I do like about what this power play could be is that yeah, I'll take Kemper at freaking 100. What I like about this power play is with the caliber of players like Mikko Rantanen, like you justify a dedicated first unit. With less depth, you don't really want to do a 1A 1B situation, like and just have what Duchesne and Robertson on there, or Hintz getting not a lot of ice time, or sorry, getting a lot of ice time with those other guys. So I do think you're going to see more power play time for this first unit. At least I hope so.
Yeah, I hope they're gonna go a little bit more top unit heavy and just lean into it. I just think like we have enough proof of concept. Like it is the best way to run a power play is to like let your top guys go out there for 90 seconds every single time. Whether or not that's gonna translate, but like Golitzin ran a really good power play in Edmonton too. Like obviously, Ed McDavid and Draisaitl is hard not to, but like
Yeah.
he saw what worked, and you hope that some of that translates.
So he was the assistant coach on Edmonton.
Yeah,
Interesting. Yeah, dude, that year Nugent Hopkins had like 50 power play points.
yeah,
What if that's Rupe Hintz?
it could be.
What happened with the Oilers power play last year? Why was it worse than Chicago and Pittsburgh?
That's a fantastic question. I don't think they know. I think if they
Yeah,
knew, they would have fixed it.
that's
This
just
might be where I
crazy
have
to
to
me.
take Kachuk.
You do have Barkov and Seth Jones.
Yes, I do.
I mean, look at your team's pretty nice right now.
I feel not too bad about this one.
This one's good. You got some good stacks going. Johnny T and Willie.
Yeah.
I think those guys are kind of locked on a line together.
Hmm.
Makes you worry about Matthews a bit. I know he's produced with not the best line mates, but are you concerned about Matthews at all with Timu Mitch Marner on his line and Matthias Michelli?
I'm not that concerned. I actually think that just the Craig Berube style of hockey is having way more of an effect on Matthews' point potential than Mitch Marner leaving will.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, I went back and looked at like the even strength stuff between like with or without you stuff with Matthews and Marner. And Matthews had more individual scoring chances for per 60 without Marner than he did with Marner.
Okay.
The shots were a little down, but the actual scoring chances were up. And I just think like if they really can't get Matthews going, then they put Nylander on that line and then it'll go. So I'm just not that concerned, to be honest. Like I had Matthews for 50, 50, and 100.
50, yeah, that's about right. This is the if we're looking at patterns here, this is the healthy season for Matthews.
The stars have aligned.
Jeez Louise. I guess we'll go Z Buhium. I don't know. It's kind of a weird pick. Guy could be averaging like 10 minutes a night.
I think he's got like a bit of a path to start the year, which is
With
kind of
Brodeen
nice.
out?
Yeah.
I know, but
So
is
I
that
think
for
he's,
like how many games? 20 games? 10 games?
yeah, but like in this situation, you're betting that he establishes himself and he continues to get second pair minutes from there on out just by how well he plays. So he at least, like, you can't say that about Perek, right? Like, we don't know that he has power play one or even like a top four role in
True.
camp. But Buyam, like on paper, it looks like it's right there for him. All he's got to do is take it. So I don't mind paying a little bit of a premium for him. I don't have a ton,
I
but
don't
if
either, but I have Kaprizov here, so
yeah,
I guess it's a nice little stack, but like I don't like Brodeen's pretty darn good, right? I don't know too much about Jonas Brodeen, but
yeah, he's a good defensive defenseman.
like I don't think they would put him on the third pairing.
No, most likely not.
Yeah, like he's been averaging 22, 23 minutes a night. So yeah, I mean, I still think Buyum could maybe put up 25 power play points though on a really good power play. So I guess
Yeah,
that's good in this format, right? If we're talking about some spike weeks, maybe some 2 point games, 3 point games.
Yeah, if you're gonna add him as your fifth defenseman, that's all you need, right? Like, can he give you 3, 4 weeks? That's what you're asking.
Yeah, I have a lot of like the defensemen on my team here are all like no peripheral guys. Bouillon, Luke Hughes, Lane Hudson, Adam Fox. Do you have any opinion on the Montreal Canadiens and Lane Hudson? And are you a fan? Like some people are really, buying into the Cole Caulfield hype or, also Demidov. Yeah, I'm curious some of your opinions on these Montreal guys.
Yeah, I think like on paper it looks really good for them. They've gone and added Bolduc, who I think is a real player. Solidifies the second line, which has been a problem for them for years at this point. If Kirby Doc is okay, then I think Demidov can carry that line offensively, and Bolduc is a good two-way player. That solidifies the second line and gives them a little bit more floor for even strength offense. Gives them a little bit more floor even if injuries happen. That, in years past, if injuries happened, like if Suzuki had ever gotten hurt, then everybody would have just tanked. So having a few options now, like even if Hudson gets hurt, then Dobson's on the top power play and it shouldn't miss a beat, right? So there's a lot more safety in that. At the same time, like if just going by the metrics, it does feel like a bunch of these guys overperformed a bit. Like I think that was probably peak Nick Suzuki last year. I
Yeah,
don't
I
really
agree.
know that we've got a better season than that coming from him anytime soon. So that part is a little scary. We still don't really know if Lane Hutson's got another gear beyond this. Like theoretically, young players should get better. I think it's possible. But yeah, that was a crazy rookie season and was really just Martin St. Louis like handing the keys over from day one, saying like, we don't really care what happens on the defensive end, just go make offense happen. And I don't know if that's like the long term plan for success or if they'll kind of put the clamps on it a little bit in year two and be like, actually, you got to learn how to play D now.
Yeah.
So there's moving parts there. It wouldn't be shocking to see them take a little bit of a step back this year overall, but definitely the team is stronger. I think Dobson is like an actual true number one two-way defender. I don't know if he's like, top 10 in the league, but he's definitely an actual guy who can play number one minutes in the league. So that part of it is nice for them for sure and gives them pretty solid top four, I think now. Like they have Goulet, who's a decent player. They have Matheson there still. So I think they got a solid top four. And yeah, it comes down to Montembeau and what he can do in the back end, right?
Yeah. What I'm curious about, I don't know if you saw Bolduc, what he said about Demidov yesterday or today. He was like, he's the
Oh
most
no.
talented player that he's ever played with. And he played on a line with Robert Thomas.
Yeah, man. I think Demidov is really interesting. I don't like the price on drafters here. I think it's just like it's it's the price of hype that we're paying, right? It's the price of a Montreal Canadiens player that we have to pay.
Yeah.
Whenever like the Leafs or the Canadians have a really good prospect come up, then we got to pay through the nose for it. So I think that's a little bit what's going on with Demidov in these streets right now. But that being said, like I do think the talent is real. I do think this is a guy who can have 90 points in the league. I just don't think it's year one,
Yeah.
especially if they decide to keep the top line together. I don't think even top power play is necessarily assured. I think it's likely, but I don't think it's assured. They still have Line A there. Why are you dressing Line A if not to bomb on the power play? So I think there's a bit too many moving parts for Demidov to have like a true like point per game rookie season this year, but definitely a guy who's got all the talent in the world.
Yeah, I think a little overhyped. I think I talked about this in my power play video. I have an issue. I struggle with thinking that Line A, who's on pace for the most power play goals last year, is going to just be put on power play too. Like I really struggle with that. But Demidov is really skilled, so that's one to watch out for sure. Like maybe Line A, if he's on power play one all year, he could actually kind of be a sneaky player. Maybe even on drafters. I haven't drafted him at all, but that's actually someone I haven't drafted yet. Maybe I should mix him in.
Maybe.
Have you drafted him at all?
I haven't, to be honest. I'm terrified that they're just gonna like literally bury him.
Yeah, why? What's his contract? Why even have him on there if he's not power play one?
Well, yeah, he's still making 9 million a year, right? It's still
Yeah,
ridiculous.
what's Demidov's making rookie contract?
Yeah. So there is still that, but this is the last year. 8.7 is Lanny's contract. This is the last year, so they could just decide like we don't
Mm,
care, just bury him.
that's true. Um, well, Nate, I'm assuming you're out of here. I
Yeah,
really appreciate you joining the stream, man.
no
I
problem. It
want
was
to give
fun.
you the floor to shout out everything. Like I'll say myself, follow Apples and Genos on YouTube. Some of the best fantasy hockey content out there. Also the draft kit that you guys made. I've not purchased it, but I've heard really good things. So yeah, plug everything and let them know where to find you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we're here on YouTube. You search Apples and Genos, you'll find us. If you want the podcast, it's everywhere podcasts are. Twitter, we're up there. We're retweeting stuff all the time. So we're a good follow for keeping up on news and stuff like that. We've got a Discord server too where people are talking all the time. And yeah, our fantasy guide, we did it for the second straight year this year, 167 pages, all 32 teams, full preview, full write-ups, full projected lineups. I wrote a 3,200 word article on how to outdraft the smartest player in your draft room this year. So if that sounds interesting to you, then yeah, you can go check that out too. It's a pinned link on Twitter and just about anywhere. If you search it, you'll find it. But yeah, that's what
3,200?
we've been up to.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. Didn't set out to write it that long, but once the juice started flowing, it all came out.
Nice. Well, listen, Nate, I appreciate it. It was good meeting you too. We've been meaning to do this.
Yeah,
Um, and let's continue making content. If you want to hop on the stream, I'll be doing these like every other day if I can. Maybe we'll do a pod. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll stay in touch.
sounds good, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Have a great night.
You too. Bye bye.
Peace out, man. All right, boys. That was great. Hold on, let me make this smaller. That was awesome. Uh, Shout out Nate. We drafted some teams there, some good teams, and I think we will be calling it a night. We've done a lot of streams lately, but I appreciate you guys tuning in, all the support. You know, looking at the comments here, I don't know who this person is. If not your first, your last. I have no clue who that is. Was there any comments here that are interesting? Is Kachuk going to be good in this format? He could be, man, but it is a total fantasy points format, so you know, in that range, if you can get a guy like Helynt kind of goes in that range, right? Hurdle. Some of these guys could have big spike weeks the entire year, and if Kachuk isn't back till January, you're missing 4 months of Kachuk. So I'm gonna mix some of him in, but there is a concern. But yeah, boys, that's it. Make sure if you guys want to draft alongside with me, there is how many spots left or how many teams left? 3,600 teams left. This is filling up pretty quick. If you sign up on the app with code FIREDUP, you get 100% match deposit up to $100 in bonus funds. The desktop link is going to be in the description. But yeah, super fun. Our boomer, yeah, that was great, man. Nate knows his stuff. He's in here. We're going to be fiercely battling to try to win the 10K prize here. So yeah, boys, appreciate the support. Hit a like on the stream if you can, guys. It really helps bump the stream up in terms of the algorithm. Subscribe if you're not. And yeah, that's it. Take care, boys. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.